Hey man, good evening everybody, man. It's Marcus, a part of part of my crew. I'm here by myself today. Um, we I watched most of us watched the Eagles game um this afternoon. Um, I can tell you that this loss was more about just attention to detail across everything, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't just one component of the team that was bad. I will give that the the defense played as well as they could for as long as they could, right? Quinion had um as the game went further, they wore him down. And once Denver realized what was going on, it was pretty much just like they was taking a smaller guy and putting him in the paint against a bigger guy, right? And with that, you know what I'm saying, it was pretty much posting somebody up in the paint, and they realized that Sutton was bigger than him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they did. That's what they did with Q. They pretty much put the mouse on the block and just started going to him. And that's what I don't blame Peyton or Bo Nix for that. That was just they saw my man wearing down, and they just took advantage of that. Q had a off game, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? He's not going to be on every game. But as far as the rest of the game goes, the Eagles beat themselves, and that's not taking away from the win that the Denver Broncos got. And I'll say that because they just stuck to the plan. Whatever their plan was, they stuck to that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't panic when they got down. They just kept scrapping. They just kept doing, taking it bit by bit, right? They kept running, right? And they played defense. The defense kept them in it. You know what I'm saying? And they just took what was there. They didn't panic. They didn't go crazy. Even though a couple of times when Bo Nix got sacked, they just kept playing. You know, that's a part of the game. You're not supposed to quit. And I think that a part of what got the Eagles is that they thought the Broncos would quit, and they didn't. They just stuck to their plan. They kept running, they kept passing, they kept defending. Right now, on the Eagles side, there are so many basic little things that they could have done, right? That they didn't do. The false starts, right? It's like simple attention to detail things. And I harp on that because it was taught to me by my mentor, right? Take care of the small shit, the big shit, to take care of yourself. And what I mean by that is, the false starts. You know what I'm saying? Like not running your routes out completely. You know what I mean? Being not knowing the basic details. You in the route. Earlier in the game, Devontae was in the route at the end in the end zone, and here come Dotson right next to him in the same space. That can't happen. You know what I mean? Like y'all got to be on the same page. Everybody got to be on the same page, which means effective communication and listening and working with each other. Um, the other thing that got the Eagles was just the fact that stop listening to everybody that's outside, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't worry about what's going on outside. You know what I mean? People, that is their job. People don't understand the media's job isn't to always paint a perfect picture. They need drama to be able to feed what their job is, right? And if you don't catch on to that, even as a fan or as a athlete, if you don't catch on to that, something's wrong, right? And I say that to say this, that's their job, is to drum up drama. Stop listening to the outside people, because the understand the assignment is to win, right? That's your assignment. Your assignment is not, yes, you want your numbers, you want to look good, but we as a collective, our assignment is to win. That's the bottom line. to succeed, to get to the next week and work with each other and learn how to, you know what I'm saying? Because winning is a process. It's not just, okay, you win this week. You have to win. Okay, we did this wrong. Take it to the next week. But for whatever reason, they got caught up, really, AJ, but he manned up about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about what these people are saying, man. They on the sidelines for a reason. You know what I mean? The circus is out there for a reason. You know what I mean? Don't give them nothing. You know what I mean? Your assignment is to win. You know what I mean? And that's a big thing. Worry about what you can control. You know what I'm saying? Like, too many times you get caught up in just what everyone else is saying, right? I'm not getting my numbers. I'm not getting this. And then Devontae says something at the end. I'm like, dog, like, yo, the assignment is to win. We will work and understand, like I said, winning is a process. You can build and tweak as you go along. You're only in game. This is what, game 5? Bro, you got time to build. You're about to go up to the other thing about it is you're about to go up to New York and play the Giants. You know what I'm saying? So you got time to build, dude. Stop worrying about everything that everyone else is saying. The biggest thing you need to understand is, one, take care of the small things you can take care of first, right? Blocking. Yeah, because the line man right now, they're not blocking well, right? Worry about being in place for when the play takes off, so you don't get called for a false start. You know what I'm saying? Understand that, hey, hitting the guy after the play is over is a foul, right? It's basic things that they are not doing. Simple, easy things that they're not doing, man. That's what's getting the Eagles. And it's not, and the best thing about it, you know what I'm saying? The best thing about it is that it is not something that is big. However, if you keep allowing these small things to keep taking place, it's going to turn into a bigger issue, right? That is what got the Eagles today, is that they kept doing this. They kept not doing the small things, the false starts. All of these things kept happening. And then while they were doing these bad things, the Broncos just kept doing their job. They did their job. That's the bottom line. That's all that happened. And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, people were like, was the coach? And look, man, today was more about the players than it was the coaches. I'm not saying that the coaches, now please understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the coaches didn't play a part in it, because they clearly did. You know what I'm saying? They got up 17-3. They scored a touchdown coming right out of the half. And what they didn't do was they just, you know what I mean? Like, they kept getting conservative with the ball. Like, look, the other part about it is Saquon only had 6 touches the entire game. It's not stats. It's not necessarily about stats. It's about understanding that you have to give the other team something else to look at. You know what I mean? At least attempt to run. The man only had six carries. That is the lowest amount of carries he's had in his entire career in a game, provided he finished the game, right? You have to look, and I'm not going to say, people are like, I don't necessarily like what Patullo is doing. However, I understand that he's been with the team for 5 years. I do also understand that job he has is like it's a hot stove right now. But at the same time, I would say, get the Thursday. Hopefully you win Thursday. You should win Thursday. But I would definitely look into getting him or at least getting a senior offensive assistant. Because one thing I kind of noticed is that, I don't know how much Nick is involved. I think he's involved heavily in planning things, probably so. But I think they need a fresh set of eyes that necessarily aren't in the organization. right? To be able to see things from the outside and say, hey, this is what I saw. This is how we need to get better. Because there's no reason you score coming out of the half and then you don't score again. If you would have got 3 points at any point in that third or fourth quarter after the fact, you would have won the game because it would have adjusted. And then the other thing that I really didn't like from a coaching perspective was just the clock management, man. Sometimes it shouldn't. I know I'm not out there, but it shouldn't be that hard sometimes, man. Like, look at where you at. Situational awareness; those things matter. Am I? Let me say. How do I say it? Am I upset about this loss? No. Because I just think that you don't want to lose because winning is the main thing. You want to win. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, these things are simple things that they have to address. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that's, oh man, it's the end of the world. People flying off the handle on Twitter, man. It's wild to see. I just can't take. I'm not gonna put all of my chickens in the one pack, man. Like, it's one game. As much as you don't want them to win this game, dude, they're still 4-1. They're still in a good spot, man. And their upcoming schedule ain't bad. They just need to take care of the small shit, man. You know what I mean? And take care of the small shit first, and big shit to take care of itself. Yes, there are some injury issues. Obviously, Landon goes out like every 5 to 10 minutes. It's like a younger JP, but get healthy, man. Like, and just do the basics, dude. No one's asking you. We all know that you're the ultra talented team. You know what I'm saying? At each skill position on the offense or defense, you're talented. You're skilled. But sometimes, you gotta just do the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what got them. And the other thing that, is just it's weird to see. It's even weird for me to see that they lost. But understand, like, even them losing, dude, like, they haven't lost a game, bro, literally since folks when it was on Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? That's a long time not to lose. Yes, I know they had time off between, a couple months or whatever case may be, but that's a long time not to lose, dude. So they ain't gonna win every game. You will want them. You in a perfect world, you would want that to happen, but it's not going to happen. It's not realistic. You know what I'm saying? To think that they're just going to go out there and win every game. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, stop worrying about your stats. You know what I mean? Yes, it's a part of your contract. We get it. It's, we want everyone to eat. However, you know how else everyone eats? Just doing their job. If you're not catching the ball, block. Be the greatest decoy you can be. But be happy for each other. Be happy for the win. Stop listening to everyone that's on the outside, man. None of that even matters, man. Like, and again, for everyone that's out there listening or whatever the case may be, like, and I said it Thursday, on the other show I had. Winning is a process, dude. It's not always going to look the way you want it. You know what I'm saying? It's not always going to be instant gratification. And that's why I'm not completely on the bus of just firing Patullo, even though, yes, I'm with you on the fact that the play calling needs to get better. It sucks right now in regards to just being able to adjust. Because he started out well in the first quarter. It's just that, again, he didn't adjust in the second quarter. Because if he'd have saw at that time, while Denver kept playing, they were still down and the defense was still playing well. And I would have liked them to even get to more of a run game. But when they tried to run, they tried it once, and Brett Toth got a holding penalty. They came back and tried. They came and tried to do it again the second time. They got it after that penalty, and they went and there was a false start. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much they didn't try to run again. They didn't try to give Saquon back the ball at all. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, if you're trying to be great at anything, if you're trying to win consistently at anything, it's all a process, man. And that's just not the players, it's the coaches as well. They're all learning together. Some of them have been together longer than others, but still, it's a whole process to learn how to win. You know what I mean? Like, I understand as a fan base or as fans, there are going to be fans that are just going to be mad regardless. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you'll get over it. It's not like you don't know you have a great team. Because the Eagles are a great team. They just, again, like I keep, foot stomping it. Take care of the small shit first. Take care of the small shit first, man. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? No one's happy. No one's going to be going to work happy tomorrow if you're an Eagles fan. But go to work happy that you got a great team. It's just that it's no different than anybody else in regular working or whatever the case may be. Just take care of the small shit, and the big shit can take care of itself. Again, I don't want to take away from Denver. They played a consistent game throughout. They just pretty much they didn't flatline. They didn't give up. Bo Nix showed me that he's a decent quarterback in the NFL. You know what I mean? And he didn't break. He didn't fold when he could have. He had opportunities to, but it didn't happen. The other thing that I want to talk about is the whole notion that the refs, helped the Eagles into this loss. No, they didn't. Nope. And the reason I say that, if anyone's played, it's not necessarily about, I'm not talking, don't take what I'm saying as anything negative towards anyone that's not played sports ever under a whistle or anything. But because I'm not saying that, because there's a lot of very knowledgeable and well-spoken folks that have never played a sport but can talk the game like no one else. You know what I'm saying? But with that, the refs, if you've played anything, right, the refs, you can't let the refs dictate anything, right? Because the Eagles didn't score. It's not the refs' fault that the Eagles didn't score after that first possession in the third quarter. For the next 28 minutes, they didn't score, right? That's not the refs' fault. That's the Eagles' fault, because they had plenty of opportunities to stomp out the Broncos, but they didn't do it. That's on them. So guess what? The Broncos, again, to their credit, kept playing. They kept playing. You know what I mean? They just did what they did their job. And all that time, the Eagles defense kept plugging, right? Holding them, but the offense didn't give them anything else to plug with. And they got tired. And when they got tired, guess what that meant? That meant that Quinyon was out there longer. That meant that Vaughn was out there longer. That meant that Carter was out there longer. That meant that Jordan Davis was out there longer. That meant that Keely Ringo was out there longer, right? Because they kept going 3 and out. They couldn't sustain drives. That is not the ref's fault. The ref didn't tell you to false start. The ref didn't tell you to get set. The ref shouldn't have to tell you to get set when you go out to make sure you can see if it's a man coverage or not. That's on Saquon. He didn't get set. He should have stopped. He did not. That's not the ref's fault. The refs did their job. The Eagles put the game in the refs. Never let a game be determined by the refs. When you had multiple times and multiple possessions to make sure that didn't happen. That's on them, dude. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes should it take that for you to learn a lesson? No, because you should be learning it while you playing, right? I'm not gonna false start again. I'm gonna make sure I get set before the ball is snapped again. You have to do that. That's not the ref's fault, bro. It's going to be bullshit calls in every game. We've seen it through the life our whole lives. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. They lost. And they lost to a team that just did their job. You know what I'm saying? So you can't hate the Broncos for it. The Eagles are 4-1, right? And they just have to, keep working. It's a process. This is game 5. You got game 6 in 3.5 days. So you got to get it together. You don't got time to be like, woe is me. Even as a fan base, we don't got time to be like, what is woe is me. It should be good that, okay, we could get back on the bus and try this again in 3 days. Jokes is going to fly. Jokes is going to fly because of what they did, and that's a part of it. Be accepted as long as ain't nobody on no bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, the Eagles lost. I'm still very, very positive about this team. I saw some joker, James Nagel or whatever his name is, talking about fire Nick Sirianni. I'm like, shut up, dude. Like, yes, my man was cooking in the tweet he said too, but not until he got to the fire part. Come on, bro. Like, my man has won like 75% of his games, and he's been to 2 Super Bowls and won 1. Like, some people, I understand when you get mad, people just say anything, but sometimes people just need to chill, man. Like, relax, bro. It ain't that serious. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like losing either, but at the same time, you gotta compartment your feelings. You know what I mean? You gotta compartment your feelings. And what I mean by that is, just because one thing happened doesn't mean that you have to react and this other thing has to happen. Bro, they've won now 20 of Jalen's last 22 starts that he started to finish the game. They haven't lost a game in fucking a year and some change, almost a year, bro. Name me what fan base or what team wouldn't want a record like that. Name one. You know what I mean? They just have some things they need to fix. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's not big things. Health, one, get healthier on the line because these jokers ain't blocking the way they used to. The standard of blocking and standard of a Jeff Stoutland coached line isn't what we're seeing right now. But again, they have Coach Stout and the line have earned that leeway to get it right. AJ has earned that leeway to get it right. AJ or Delonte has earned that leeway to get it right. I don't see anything wrong with the quarterback. I only, and then this was me nitpicking during the game. Like, there was some times where he was running out of the pocket, and he would try to still fit it in there. I'm like, nah, bro, just throw it away. But that's me. That's me personally nitpicking. But other than that, man, the quarterback is doing his job. It's the people around him that need to, take care of the small shit and the big shit to take care of itself. They're gonna get rolling, dude. I don't believe that they won't. This is not 2023. They are going to keep playing hard. They're going to, and they got a great defensive coordinator. They got the guys. They got the right guys in the locker room, man. You understand? Like, people aren't always going to act the way you want them to. That's just not life. That's just not sports. AJ is going to say what he needs to say. Devontae is going to say what he needs to say. But understand, like, I'm not worried about them. I'm just more concerned with them. Just take care of the small things. And that's all I got to say about that, man. We're going to get ready for Thursday. It is what it is, man. The Eagles are okay. They're still 4-1. They're still better than any team in the division. You know what I mean? Like, don't, it's going to be some trolling, but you take that and you give it back when, as needed. You know what I mean? Don't trip out about it, man. This is a tough, it's not even really a tough loss. It's more of a lesson learned loss than anything else. They earned this loss as a staff, as players. They earned it. You know what I mean? They'll get it together. You know what I mean? So don't worry about it. And another thing, like I said, keep saying, stop worried about what the media says. They in the media for a reason. They got a job to do. That doesn't mean you have to help them do their job. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Hope, like I said again, this was a lessons learned um, weekend for them, and they'll get better from it, man. So that is what it is. That's all I gotta say about what's going on with the Eagles. They're gonna be all right. Y'all relax. You know what I mean? They're gonna be good. You know, have fun, laugh, get right back at it Thursday. You know what I'm saying? Still go Birds. They still 4-1. They still the defending champs. We got a great team. Keep supporting them through the good and the bad. That's what we do. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But all right, man. It's Marcus. Me and my boys will probably be back probably Wednesday night at 8:30. I don't know what the topic's going to be, but we'll be back then. I'm gonna go get up and watch the rest of this game. Watch the rest of this Bills and what's it called, the Patriots game. And oh, by the way, one quick thing. I don't want to hear about Justin Herbert anymore. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to hear about him. Him and Sam Darnold are the same guy to me, but that's neither here or there. I'll probably talk about that Wednesday as well, man. But hey, man, it's because I feel like a pod. Follow us on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like subscribe to the page on YouTube. We're there. All right, people, man. Y'all smile. Go Birds, man. It ain't over. We still the best team in the league. We just gotta take care of the small shit and the big shit. Take care of yourself, yo. I'm out of here, man. Love y'all. Peace.